Bonjour! Welcome to the newcomers and welcome back for the others. Without any wait, let's dig in chapter 7. We rode through the night and the leech way brought us from the marsh. Dawn found us at Nordwood, drear and grey. The town lay in ruin. Its ashes still held the acrid ghost of smoke that lingers when the fire is gone. "The Count of Renor," said Mackin at my side. "He grows bold to attack and grasp protectorate so penly. He sheds the road speck like a cloak." "How can we know who roosts such wickedness?" Father Gomes asked, his face as grey as his beard. "Perhaps Baron Cannick's men raided down the leech way. It was Cannick's men who caged me on the gibbet." The brothers spread out among the ruins. Rick elbowed Fat Burlow aside and vanished into the first building, which was nothing but a roofless shell of stone. "Shit, poor bog farmers, just like fucking Maberton." The violence of his surge drowned out any further complaint. I remember Nordwood on Fit Day, hang with ribbons. Mother walked with the Burgermeister. William and I had treacle apples. "But these were my shit, poor bog farmers," I said. I turned to look at old Gomsty. "There are nobodies. This is Count Renor's work." Mackin nodded. "We'll find the pyre in the field to the west. Renor burns them all together, the living and the dead." Gomes crossed himself and muttered a prayer. War is a thing of beauty, as I said before, and those who say otherwise are losing. I put a smile on, though it didn't fit me. "Brother Mackin, it seems the Count has made a move. It behoves us, as fellow soldiers, to appreciate his artistry. Have yourself a ride round. I want to know how he played his game." Renor. First gather Gomst, now Renor. As though the spirit in the mire had turned a key, and the ghosts of my past were marching through, one by one. Mackin gave a nod and cantered off, not into town, but along the stream, following it up the thickets, beyond the market field. "Father Gomst," I said in my most polite court voice, "pray tell, where were you when Baron Cannick's men found you?" "It made no sense that our family priest should be taken on a raid." "The hamlet of Jessop, my prince," Gomes replied, wary and looking anywhere but at me. "Should we not ride on? We'll be safe in the homelands. The raids won't reach past Hanton." "True," I thought. "So why would you come into danger?" "The hamlet of Jessop? Can't say I've even heard of it, Father Gomst," I said, still nice as nice. "Which means it won't be much more than 3 huts and a pig." Rick stormed out of the house, blacker than the Nuban with all the ash on him, and spitting mad. He made for the next doorway. "Burlow, you fat bastard! You set me up!" If little Ricky couldn't find himself some loot, then somebody else would pay. Always. Gomes looked glad of the diversion, but I drew his attention back. "Father Gomes, you were telling me about Jessop." I took the rein from his hand. "Bogtown, my prince, nothing. A place where they cut peat for the protectorate, 17 herds, and perhaps a few more pigs. He tried to laugh, but it came out too sharp and nervy. So, you journeyed there to offer absolution to the poor? I held his eyes. Well, out past Anton, out to the edge of the march, out into danger, I said. You're a very holy man, father. He bowed his head at that. Jessup. His name rang a bell. A bell with a deep voice, slow and solemn. Send not to ask for whom the bell tolls. Jessup is where the marsh tide takes the dead, I said. I saw the words on the mouth of old Tutor Landist as I spoke them. I saw the map behind him, pinned to the study wall, currents marked in black ink. It's a slow current, but sure. The marsh keeps her secrets, but not forever, and Jessup is where she tells them. That big man, Rick, he's strangling the fat one. Father Gumps nodded towards the town. My father sent you to look at the dead. I didn't let Gumps divert me with small talk. Because you'd recognize me. Gumps' mouth framed a no, but every other muscle in him said yes. You'd think Priorists would be better liars. What with their job and all? Still looking for me after 4 years. 4 weeks would have surprised me. Gumps edged back in his saddle. He spread his hand helplessly. The queen is heavy with child. Sagios tells the king it will be a boy. I had to confirm the succession. The succession? That sounded more like the father I knew. And the queen? Now that put an edge on the day. Sagios? I asked. He's an bun picker, newly come to court. Gumps pat the word as if they tasted sour. The pause grew into a silence. Rick! I said, not a shout, but loud enough to reach him. Put that burlo down, or I'll have to kill you. Rick let go, and Burlo hit the ground like the 300-pound lump of lard that he was. I guess that of the two, Burlo looked slightly more purple in the face, but only a little. Rick came toward us with his hands out before him, twisting as though he already had them around my neck. You. No sign of making, and Father Gumps will be as useful as a fart in the wind against little Ricky with a rage on him. You! Where's the fucking goal you promised us? A score of heads popped out of windows and doors at that. Even Fat Burlo looked up, sucking in a breath as if it come through a straw. I let my hand slip from the pommel of my sword. It doesn't do to sacrifice too many pawns. Rick had only 12 yards to go. I swung off Garrett saddled and patted his nose, my back to the town. There's more than one kind of gold in Norwood, I said, loud enough, but not too loud. Then I turned and walked past Rick. I didn't look at him. Give a man like Rick a moment, and he'll take it. Don't you be telling me about no farmer's daughters this time, you little bastard! He followed me, roaring. But I let the head out of him. He just has wind and noise now. That fucker of a cunt takes them all out to burn already. I made for Midway Street, leading up to the Burgermeister's house from the market field. As we passed him, Brother Gaines looked up from the cook fire. It started. He clambered to his feet to follow and watch the fun. The grain store tower had never looked like much. It looked less impressive now, all scorched, the stones split in the heat. Before they burned them all away, the grain sacks would have hidden the trapdoor. I found it with a little prodding. Rick huffed and puffed behind me all the time. Open it up. I pointed to the ring set in the stone slab. Rick didn't need telling twice. He got down and heaved the slab up, as if it weighs nothing. And there they were, barrel after barrel, all huddled up in the dusty dark. The old Burgermeister kept the festival beer under the grain tower. Every local knows that. A little stream runs down there to keep it all nice and cool like. Looks like what? 20? 20 barrels of golden festival beer. I smiled. Rick didn't smile back. He stayed on his hands and knees, and let his eye wander up the blade of my sword. I imagine how it must tickle against his throat. See, now, York, brother, I didn't mean... He started. Even with my sword at his neck, he had a mean look to him. Macon clattered up and came to stand on my shoulder. I kept the blade at Rick's throat. I may be little Rick, but I ain't a bastard, I said, soft in my killing voice. Isn't that right, Father Gumst? If I was a bastard, you wouldn't have to risk life and limb to search the dead for me, now, would you? Prince York, let Captain Bursa kill this savage. Gumps must have found his composer somewhere. We'll ride on to the tall castle in your father. My father can damn well wait. I shouted. I beat back the rest, angry at being angry. Rick forgot about the sword for a moment. What the fuck is all this prince shit? What the fuck is all this Captain Bursa shit? And when do I get to drink the fucking beer? We had ourselves as full an audience then as we'd get. All the brothers about us in a circle. Well, I said, since you ask so nice, Brother Rick, I'll tell you. Macon raised his brows at me, and he took a grip on his sword. I waved him down. The Captain Bursa shit is Macon, being Captain Macon Bursa of the Increase Imperial Guard. The Prince shit is me, being the beloved son and heir of King Oliden of the House of Encras. And we can drink the beer now, because today is my 14th birthday. And how else would you toast my health? Every brotherhood has a pecking order. With brothers like mine, you don't want to be at the bottom of that order. You're liable to get pecked to death. Brother Jobe had just the right mix of wiped cur and rabbits to stay alive there. See you for Chapter 8. Bye bye.